What is going on, fam? I'm JoJo, and today I am very curious about a new film titled A Knock at the Cabin, directed by M. Night Shyamalan, and it's actually based off of a 2018 horror novel called The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. I wish this film was just titled Knock at the Cabin, because I keep forgetting to call it, I keep forgetting the A Knock at the Cabin. To me, it should have just been called Knock at the Cabin. I can't think of the A for some reason. A young girl and her two dads are vacationing at a remote cabin, but they are suddenly held hostage by four strangers who demand they sacrifice one of their own to avoid the apocalypse. Now, you've probably already seen the trailer for this film. They do reveal that the premise is surrounding the apocalypse. I think I would have been more shocked to hear it in the theater versus the trailer. So once the motives revealed, it didn't really affect me as much as I would have liked it to. Now again, this was based off of a novel, so if you read the book, then you know exactly what the premise was. But if you were clueless about the novel and you stayed away from all the trailers and all the TV spots, I think it would have added to the shock factor what the overall premise was going to be about. Once the film opens up, we go right into the story. I was expecting a bit more backstory. Once it started, I was like, oh, okay, we're at the cabin. And here comes Dave Bautista. We're going right into it. Let's go. So I was expecting a little bit more backstory behind it, but it didn't take away from it. You have Dave Bautista here playing a character named Leonard. He's with three other individuals, and they make it known that these four individuals, including Dave Bautista's character Leonard, they're just normal citizens. They don't want to break into the cabin. They don't want to fight. They're just extremely anxious and nervous, and they showcased it very well. I completely believed all the emotion that was coming out of all four of them. Now, speaking of characters and emotion, Dave Bautista does a great job in this film. I didn't personally pay too much attention to him in his other work. I've enjoyed him, but I didn't really look at him as some type of grade A superstar. I'm here to say that I have now jumped on the Bautista train. Bravo to him. I'm just glad that he's getting to act outside of what you would have thought he would do, like playing superhero vibes and playing this huge action superstar. In this film, he really plays like this cool, calm, collected guy. He doesn't come off as intimidating to all, unless he has to show that side of him. And side note, honestly, this whole cast was great. Jonathan Groff and Ben Aldridge, I believe that was his name, playing the two fathers. Superb. They did great. There was not an actor in this film that did not do well. Another actor who deserves his Miley Cyrus flowers is Rupert Grint. I'm not even going to say where we all know him from. It's very obvious, so we're going to skip past that. But Rupert is awesome in this film. He gives his 100. Full of emotion. He was gritty. Such heart. His accent honestly blew me away. I don't think I've ever heard Rupert Grint act or speak with like an American accent, or I believe maybe like an American Southern accent, I believe is what he was doing. It was believable. And whenever Rupert was on screen, I was focused and I was truly enjoying his performance. Another excellent performance was the actress who played the little girl, Wen. Her name is Kristen Cui. I believe she's a newcomer to the films. Man, she had one hell of a role to fill in, and she did it well. She was innocent, intriguing, intelligent, and honestly, anytime I saw her interacting with her two dads, I was constantly like, like she's just, it was great. One aspect that I loved about this film was the camera shots, the cinematography. It was wonderful. There's one particular scene that stood out to me was actually towards the beginning when we see a conversation going on with Dave Bautista and the little girl when the way they use the camera angles, I was on edge the whole time. I was watching this, it's like something's going to happen, it's going to be a jump or something going on, but the way they used it was beautifully shot. Once you see it, you'll understand what I mean. Now, throughout the movie, I was paying attention to the dialogue. I was paying attention to everything, all the context clues that they were showing us, whether it was on the TV, the radios, the mirrors, everyone's facial reactions. I was going back and forth trying to see if I could believe what was happening. Do I believe these four individuals? Am I taking the father's sides? What would I do in this situation? Was the whole idea of an apocalypse happening? Could I see myself believing this or not? That's kind of like your inner fight that you're having throughout this film. You're trying to decide, do I believe the four of these crazy people? Am I going to believe the two fathers who are being much more sane and be like, this isn't happening? Hush, we don't believe you. So throughout the whole movie, you're going to go through that and have an inner fight. Like, okay, I believe what they're saying. No, he makes sense too. He's making much more sense. Well, no, this happened too. So, it could be. That's the inner struggle throughout the whole film. And I loved it. One thing that I didn't like about this film was honestly the way it ends. I was expecting a bigger climax. I was expecting a what the F moment that was going to reveal a new twist, something that we were not expecting. And that doesn't happen in this film. I spent a lot of time in my head trying to figure out what could be the grand reveal using all the context clues that were given to us as the audience. And it's actually a pretty simple storyline, I would say. It's not going to sit there and constantly polarize you and pull you different crazy outcomes. So I would say that was something that I wasn't expecting. I was expecting something grander, larger to come into play by the third act, and it doesn't happen. Now, overall, I enjoyed this film. I could see myself rewatching this once, maybe twice again, but I wouldn't add this to my like rewatch every year kind of film. I'm gonna give this film a 7 out of 10. Go see it in theaters, or you could honestly even wait to stream it. But it's definitely worth a watch. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this film. Did it exceed your expectations? Did you see any of that coming? Don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate all of you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.